Hi everybody, my name is Ellie. I am the previously known Turquoise Squirrel, and today I would like to show you how to make wafer paper hydrangeas. So let's dive in. Here we've got our wafer paper glue. You can see there's still a couple of bits in there. That's absolutely no problem whatsoever. Just give it a stir, make sure it's a nice viscosity. Now we've got all our lovely petals. We're going to dip our brush in the glycerin and water. We're going to really wring it out. It's important that there's not that much moisture in the brush. It's going to dissolve your petals otherwise. And we're going to brush it over gently. And you see it's already getting sticky, and we're going to use our cornstarch sock to just cover that with a little bit of cornstarch. There you go. I keep moving my cornstarch sock, so wherever it's moist, it's kind of going to move around so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to use my big brush to kind of just brush over it to get rid of any excess. And now I'm going over this just 2 petals. I found that doing all 4 on the other side, the whole thing collapses. I've struggled very much in the beginning, so I do 2 at a time. If you're struggling with it getting too soft, do 1 petal at a time and then dab off with the cornstarch sock. There you go. You can see how floppy it's become. That's what you're looking for. Oopsie, not that floppy. We're going to brush off our excess cornstarch, but you're looking for a very nice and malleable consistency in your wafer paper. Now we're getting our beautiful veiner and set it into the middle, of course. Line it up, and you're going to give a good amount of pressure. This is really nice and malleable now, so you need a good impression in there. And look at that. Gently peel it out. Look at that, lovely. I don't think you can see it too well, but wherever the kind of veins go in, that is the front, and where they protrude, that will be the back. Clean your work surface in between, not with water, but with a dry kind of cloth, just so you don't have any sticky parts hanging around. Did you see there? I used the brush on the back of my hand to just check how much water I've got in my brush. You don't want too much water in your brush. One little speck is slowly floating around there. I imagine little Jack on there with Rose. No, Jack, don't go. My brother will hopefully not use that part. And you're again gonna get rid of the excess. There you go. And again, we're just doing 2 petals at a time. And dab. And dab. Ow. You see, that happens. But you see how forgiving wafer paper is. Just stick it back. Hold it in place and stick it back. Ta-da! Love it. And there we go. Just brush off. Again, that brush has got very little water in its bristles. So rather do too little than too much. When it starts flopping around and dissolving too much, you'll see. You'll know the frustration. This one is a misbehaving petal. There you go. And I'm holding that big brush at a bit of an angle to push away any excess. And here we've got our beautiful veiner again. Set it in the middle. Ish, there's a little bit of a nunu there. Gotta get rid of that and press. Good forceful movement kind of on there. And I think with this one you can see better. Look at those lovely little veins in there. The last part, that was the front there. And speed up. There you go. Just dab. What I'm doing as well, if you can notice that I'm not kind of moving along with the petals and detaching them. I'm letting them dry a little bit to get to the right consistency that we can work with them. At the moment, they'd be way too floppy to work with. So this is where they are super nice and soft that they can take the veining, but they would be way too soft for us to do anything with attaching them to anything. They're gonna just fall apart. There you go. So you'll see I'm gonna set it aside and let it dry a little bit. Doesn't need long. You see this one is still a bit floppy. This one is starting to hold its shape better, but not quite there yet. This one is at a beautiful stage where it holds its own shape. Then it's ready.
That's what she said. No.
You still want it a tiny bit malleable, but not too much. Now we're going to take our brush, dip it in the glue, and we're going to just make a little cross in the middle and pierce through the center. And now we're making a motion like a cootie catcher or one of those kiddie game paper fortune tellers. So you're making a motion with your middle fingers and your thumb, and then you're using your index finger to kind of maneuver the petals around, and you're pushing your thumb and middle finger towards the center to attach to the wire and the center. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to get that motion right. I'm gonna keep explaining it for the next couple of times because that is a very difficult motion. I struggled with this in the beginning. A lot of other students struggled with this too, but you'll get it, you'll get it. See, these are all still too floppy. This one can hold its own shape. It's still malleable, but it can hold its own weight. And we're getting our brush. We're going to just dip it in a little bit of the glue. And now we are going to make a cross. Just dab, dab in the middle, make a little cross. There you go. Get your center and insert it right in the middle. There we go. And you see I'm leaving a little bit of space, tiny bit of space. And now we're going to do that motion where the petals are lying on top of our middle finger and thumb, and my top index finger is at top of there, and it's just maneuvering it around, and I'm pushing the fingers towards the center, and you're holding it in place there for just a seckie, just so the petals can attach. There you go. And look at that. Pretty. No? I'd be happy with that. Again, this one is at a good stage. One more time. We're going to put our glue in the center, little cross. And again, the petals are lying across our fingers. There. And now I'm going to push it towards the center. There you go. It's a very strange motion, but you know how you whistle with your finger, your thumb and your index finger?
Okay, I'm going to show you how to whistle really loudly. This is how I normally do it. And this routine is getting your fingers, your thumb, index finger, like that. You can kind of join your nail slightly, and then stick your tongue out and butt the nail up against your tongue, like that.
But you just make that motion rather with your thumb and your middle finger. And I think this one even starts breaking off. Look at that. That's fine. Just push it back. There's a little bit of glue on there. Just attach it. And just be patient until it attaches. What I haven't explained yet is the wafer paper glue. The glue is simply wafer paper offcuts and water. You add some of those wafer paper offcuts into a container, add some water, and you make a thick paste. And then you can just keep adding water until you've got a nice viscosity. You don't want it too runny, as that would kind of dissolve the wafer paper that you're trying to stick. Sometimes I used to leave it overnight. That will help kind of like dissolve the wafer paper. But otherwise you just use a brush and keep stirring it, and it becomes kind of gooey, and then you just add water until you're happy with the consistency. Materials. Let's go. We need our beautiful wafer paper blossoms that we've cut. We need a brush that's quite a broad or wide brush, but that is flat at the top. That is important. We need our water that has the glycerin in it. If you want to color your petals, then this is where you put the coloring into it. So food coloring you can mix into the water to make these in color. Then we need our veiner. We've got the Giovanna Smith veiner. We've got all our centers, and we need a big brush. The big brush is almost like a makeup brush, so it's got quite soft bristles and it's just got a lot of bristles happening there. Then we need our cornstarch filled pouch, our little kitty sock, and that is that. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that I can see some of your projects. Tag me and enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.